Hello, everyone. My name is Oksana. It's Road to Edoverse, weekly Edoverse Insider, the sixth. We deliver the news about the creation of our project Edoverse. So may I please ask Tokugawa-san to speak?
Okay, thank you, Oksana. Hello, everybody. This is Iehiro Tokugawa, Road to Edoverse. So I would like to talk about the economy of Tokugawa Japan in general. It is so similar to what we have in Japan right now, and at the same time, naturally, it's very, very different. So many people have a hard time understanding this, what it was like. A very senior politician asked me whether it was capitalist. And it looks a lot like that. But the problem is the way we understand capitalism has also many problems. And I'm going to explain why. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, 1776, Smith talks about the three pillars of a healthy economy and of a liberal economy. One is that the division of labor. So in order to produce something, the more people participate and divide and subdivide their tasks, then productivity goes up. Now, this is true. This is very, very true. And then he also talks about this exchange instinct. Like you see a stranger and then you feel compelled to exchange words with them. So people are societal. We like to exchange. And then part three is that, and the third pillar is the labor theory of value, that all wealth is created by human labor. The second exchange instinct, the instinct to exchange is only halfway true. You do that only with people you can trust or you're not afraid of. Most of human history, people were afraid of other human beings. So it's only halfway true. And the last part, labor theory of value sounds so true, but at the same time, it was so false by the time Smith wrote The Wealth of Nations, because The Wealth of Nations was written precisely at the moment when coal was becoming a very important source of wealth. So my suspicion is that Smith actually wrote this for the owners of coal mines who didn't want their business to be regulated. You see, coal power was competing directly with human labor, and as a result, many workers and craftsmen were becoming destitute. So that is the landscape of 18th century Europe, or 18th century Britain, at least. So now, and then there's one more factor that is missing when you try to understand modern capitalism. This is the factor of violence or of theft. You see, Britain did not become rich because their ingenuity that made possible the Industrial Revolution, but they got rich because they had enough military strength to steal from wherever they wished to. Okay, so from India and from China. So they were trading with China, and they imported too much tea, so that the silver specie left Britain en masse. So with lack of monetary base metal, they had to resort to theft. So this is the Opium War. They tried to sell opium first, and then when the Chinese banned that, then they used military force to, well, they say to open the market, but actually it is to settle the imbalance of trade with violence. Or you think of the history of the United States. Nobel laureate economist Douglas North describes the American economic history as the expansion of property rights. And then for the for the first 36 years of the United States of America, 32 years the presidents were slave owners. And then after that came Andrew Jackson, and he basically legitimized stealing Native Americans' land. So American economic history, you could call it the expansion of property rights. And then property rights were established with a lot of blood being shed. So there's violence, okay? And then you look at Tokugawa Japan. The Tokugawa shoguns tried very hard to instill what you will today call social capital amongst the Japanese people. And this was not an easy task, as the Japanese were so used to civil war, and also they were very strongly influenced by Toyotomi Hideyoshi's expedition into Korea. To repeat again, more than 1% of the entire population were mobilized in this very futile and stupid war, and most of them returned from the battlefield thinking that we were winning, and this became the undercurrent of Japanese thinking towards the end of Tokugawa times. So, but anyway, the Tokugawa chose to get out of this national thieving business and instead just try to run a very peaceful economy. So there's no violence here. And two is that the Tokugawa collapsed as the Industrial Revolution approached East Asia. So there's a pre-industrial revolution economy. In other words, all wealth was created by human labor. And that's the first thing that Western observers noticed when they arrived in Japan in the late 19th century. So it looks very much like the most advanced European societies, but everything was done by human hands. So that is what amazed Western observers back then. So very ironically, was it capitalism? No, but it looked an awful lot like the world or the economic system described by Adam Smith. That is the essence of Tokugawa economy. And so the good news is that you could run an economy growing very slowly, like 0.3% per annum, for 260 years, and just keep growing. And then without war and even without natural resources. And the population grew and then eventually stagnated, but the longevity of the population, the average longevity was lengthened from like 26 years old to 36 years old. So there's growth all the way. And you don't need the Industrial Revolution. You don't have to steal from others in order to achieve this level of growth. And the people were pretty happy, more happy than you would imagine. So this is a part one of my my talk on Tokugawa.
Thank you very much, Tokugawa. Inspiring and interesting. So the next, Mr. Gen, the CTO of the project, may I ask you to tell about the progress?
Thank you, Oksana. Hello, everyone. This is Gen. And then I'd like to share some updates about Edoverse. So we are planning to have a meeting with kind of SIer in token ecosystem. So we will try to design the token ecosystem, which is super cutting edge and quite new. And then, of course, we need to find some proper partner who can design a whole token ecosystem, which is based on what we want to do with Mr. Tokugawa's point of view, what we did in Edo era and Edo City, blah, 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 something like that. And then, of course, we are going to use NFT. And then we see a lot of many types of NFT use case in crypto space, but I think none of them can describe what really NFT can do. Because imagine that we see like many types of digital arts can be traded by NFT, but of course we can deal with it in fiat currency as well. So we pay USD, for example, or we pay JPY to get some digital asset, which means this is not real NFT use case. So we'd like to describe and realize what Mr. Tokugawa mentioned now is new ecosystem in which NFT can show their presence. So for example, NFT means non-fungible tokens, right? So there's only one original asset, which can be NFT, which is not like digital arts or gaming application, blah, 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 something like that. Because if we issue kind of gaming NFT, if gaming company is going to be collapsed, then this NFT is not guaranteed, right? But even if, let's say, gaming application is down, gaming company is going to be bankrupt, we still can use this NFT. It's a real NFT ecosystem, which is what we want to do. Mm. And then, of course, to proceed and realize it, we have to consider what types of design is needed for this token ecosystem, which is including NFT and DeFi as well, and then native token as well. So this is a little bit complicated structure, so we need to find proper partner, and then we are trying to do now. And then maybe from 4 o'clock JST today. I'm going to have a meeting with them, and then maybe we can catch up with it. After, I'm not sure, 10 days later or something, we can show more detail about the token ecosystem, which can realize NFT, quite new NFT ecosystem, including a native token and DeFi. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gen. I'm sure you will find the solution, and good luck with today's meeting. And the next, Dominique, could you please inform us overall about our project?
Okay, thank you. I think I'm very glad that everybody is very, very positive and high motivation. And then March, we did on March actually we just made a whole sort of we're just building up the whole ideas and also the sort of design and then how we should just handle and also how we should make some concept for the Edoverse. And then we're going to just accelerate the activities. And after this afternoon's meeting, and then we're going to just order design with the token system. And also we're going to make white paper that we have to fix the idea, the concept of the Edoverse in April. So our activities is going to be very it's accelerating, and I'm really looking forward to just giving white paper just by the end of April, and after this. We're going to issue a token, the Edo Zenis or Edo Kobans, and our original schedule in July. So we are just quite now positive that and on schedule, and also I think I'm very happy that today that I heard from Mr. Tokugawa about the whole concept of the origins that our ecosystem token system just to start from the Adam Smith. Yeah, now, this actually really important thing that our ecosystem is deeply under the consideration of the whole sort of economic scale of the world, and also the existing we might just improve existing economic system just using Edoverse just in the token system. So I'm really looking forward what we can do, and then we might just change the world. And then hope that I think that we can enjoy this game, and also we can enjoy this ecosystem probably next year, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique. I like this, to change the world. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be connecting with you next week. Goodbye.